Those guys wish they were us.
Oh, okay. But at least we aren't that guy.
Well, at least I'm not you know who. Words can hurt.
PCVR is dead. Standalone has already won. Standalone is mediocre. Mobile chips can't deliver real VR. You've heard all of these statements before, and almost every one of us has thought or said something like this. Me too. And this has less to do with technology than many people believe. For most people, VR is not a casual hobby, it's a conscious decision, an investment of money, of time, and of expectations. And when we invest a lot, we want to defend that decision. The problem is this. This conflict does not exist because PCVR and Standalone are true enemies, and not because one is pushing the other out of the market. It exists because the VR market is reorganizing itself. What we are witnessing is not displacement, but consolidation. I believe it's a mistake to view PCVR and Standalone as opponents. Consolidation does not mean that the market is shrinking. It means that it is no longer trying to be everything at once. PCVR, Standalone, and mixed reality, these are no longer transitional solutions. They are clearly distinguishable segments, each with its own strengths. The problem is this: we still treat the separation as a competitive battle, when in reality it's a sign that the market has become more mature. Not better, but clearer. To understand why the market behaves the way it does today, we need to take a brief step back. This division did not happen overnight. It's the result of a development that began with the first consumer headsets and was strongly shaped by the technical limitations of the time. A key moment was the Oculus Rift development kit in 2012. Designed for developers, funded through crowdfunding. The final Oculus Rift launched in 2016 for around €700, not exactly beginner-friendly. The resolution was 1080 by 1200 pixels per eye. Today, that seems tiny. Back then, it was the technical limit. Important, this was pure PCVR. If you wanted VR, you needed a powerful PC. Shortly after, the HTC Vive arrived, similar performance, but a different tracking concept using lighthouse base stations. And this is where we see the first camps forming. Rift versus Vive. A pattern that we still recognize today. At the same time, the first standalone approaches appeared: Samsung Gear VR and Google Daydream. The idea was there: make VR more accessible without a PC. But the technology wasn't ready yet. With the Oculus Go, we saw the first serious standalone attempt. And with the Oculus Quest, it became clear. Standalone was no longer a stopgap solution. It was its own development path. Later, Oculus was acquired by Meta, and the Quest line was pushed forward consistently, up to the current Quest 3. At that point, the split was clear. PCVR on one side, Standalone on the other. PCVR was always designed to push PC hardware to its limits. More performance, higher resolution, wider field of view. This led to high-resolution displays where individual pixels are not visible anymore. At the same time, PCVR came with limitations: space requirements, cables, and in some cases external tracking. Standalone evolved with a different focus: efficiency instead of maximum performance, lower price, ease of use, portability, enabled by more powerful mobile chips and new optical concepts like pancake lenses. These two areas were never strictly separated. pancake lenses came from the standalone space and made their way into PCVR. The first inside-out tracking experiments emerged in PCVR, later became standard in standalone, and are now returning to PCVR again. Both sides have learned from each other. For developers on the other side, this separation is not an ideological question. Standalone offers reach and predictable hardware. PCVR offers performance and room for experimentation. Consolidation means not everything for everyone, but deliberate, focused decisions. The downside becomes visible in ports. For example, games are developed for standalone and later brought to PCVR. Technically they work, but the potential of the PC often remains unused. That's not bad intent. It's a structural consequence of this consolidation. The frustration on the PCVR side is understandable, because PCVR stands for potential, for more simulation, more depth, more complexity. And when that starts to feel like a bad port, the perception shifts from meaningful structure to stagnation. And then you hear statements like, PCVR is dead, there are no good games anymore. This is not an argument against standalone and not an argument against PCVR, of course. They are two different tools for different requirements. I'm interested in your perspective. How do you experience this right now? Do you feel this conflict as well? And where do you see yourself? In the enthusiast segment or in everyday standalone use or somewhere in between? If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care. Tschüss.